would you fancy working for the Prince and Princess of Wales? If you would rather like it, do you have what's been billed a low ego? Apparently that's one of the requirements for the new CEO role that has opened up at Kensington Palace. Joining me to discuss this, TalkTV royal commentator Afua Hagan. Lovely to see you.
And you.
So this is a job that hasn't really existed before, CEO of the Waleses, or whatever they're calling it.
It's never existed before. So this is the CEO of the household. You'll report directly to the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. And this is a job that's basically in charge of their household. They're looking for someone who's emotionally intelligent, who has low ego, who can sort of be... They've mentioned something about being like a servant, but a servant who can lead. That's kind of the point.
Is that what they've said?
And this is the thing as well with this particular role, is that they won't report to the private secretaries. So, you know, the grey men in suits that Prince Harry talked about in Spare, they were called the Wasp and the Bee, I think he called them.
Yes.
It's removing the power away from them in some sort of way and giving it to an independent person who can look over their household. Now, this is seen as a revolutionary move. And it's also seen as a way of them having this unique opportunity to really get their household in order, to look to the future. This person will work very closely with the King and Queen and their household as well. So a very unique position. We don't have any steer on what the salary will be. And we do know that royal households don't actually pay very well. So I have no idea what it will be. But like I said, you'll deal directly with King Charles and Queen Camilla's household and away from the private secretary.
When we say household and we're talking about the royal family, we don't exactly mean household like our household. We don't mean they're going to stock up with the jam and
Absolutely
the loo
not.
paper. They're going to make absolutely sure that the car's serviced and MOT. We don't quite mean that, do we? It's not like being a housekeeper, CEO of the royal household. So are they therefore overviewing all their royal engagements, the arrangements? Because I think one of the most revolutionary things the Waleses have done so far is say every time they make an appearance anywhere, there's got to be an awful lot of money raised first. They've got to leave a permanent and indelible improvement on the area. So they're not just breezing in, cutting a ribbon, watching someone dancing and breezing out. So that's a big deal. So is that the sort of thing that the CEO will be supervising?
Yes, and looking at the charities that they're going to work with, making sure that those charitable donations are made, making sure that after the visit, they keep on working with them and making sure that, you know, when they do engagements, that it's absolutely worth it. You know, Kate has her early years project. Prince William has his project on homelessness as well. Yesterday, we saw him at a building site talking to Mace, the construction company, talking to men there about the high suicide rates amongst construction workers, 3 times the national average. And so he's there working with the charities. So it's making sure the charities that they work with, that they're coherent, that it fits in with their ethos, and also making sure that it aligns with the other households as well.
Let's go to Diana's amazing jumper. I remember her first appearance in that jumper. We're talking about the beautiful knitted jumper with the black sheep on it. And I remember never having seen any member of the royal family wearing something witty, irreverent, funky, funny. What's happened to it?
So this is a jumper by Warm and Wonderful that Princess Diana wore in the 80s. She wore it to watch Prince Charles, as he was known then. Play polo. So it was up for auction at Christie's. It was expected to fetch between £40,000 and £70,000. And it has sold for 1.1, sorry, Sotheby's it was up for, not Christie's. And it has sold for $1.1 million.
Wow, for a knitted jumper.
Amazing.
My gosh.
That's about £886,000. 14 times what they thought they would get for it. But it's a really interesting story about this jumper that was auctioned at Sotheby's. So initially she wore the jumper, then she damaged the sleeve of it, sent it back to Warm and Wonderful, who knitted her another one and sent her that one. Now, this is the one that had the damage in the sleeve that's been in a loft for years, and they found it and they put it up for auction.
Well, it was one of those garments that she wore that was recognised instantaneously around the world, has never been forgotten, but £1.1 million. Do we know what's going to happen to the money?
No idea. Probably go to charity.
Do you think it will?
I think it will, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, Kate and William making marshmallows with the scouts and the guides all over again.
Yeah, and they've really been on manoeuvres this week. They've been very busy. You know, we saw Kate at the prison, we saw William on the building site, out with the scouts today. They've really made sure that they've put the work in this week.
Thank you very much indeed, Afua. Always a pleasure.